Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Friday evening episode of Ted's Brew Cellar with me, Ted, and my good friend from Berlin, although you wouldn't guess that by his accent, Phil.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, like, as you can probably tell by his accent, he's distinctively English, but...
Hey, I'm half Scottish. Well,
okay,
sometimes you can hear that.
Okay, distinctively British, right. So, but Phil lives in Germany, and he's come over for a couple of weeks to England, and you brought us some interesting stuff from Deutschland. So, this is basically Polish honey-flavoured beer, or mead,
That's
rather.
the gist of it. I actually got this in Wrocław, which is also known as Breslau. Yeah, when I went on a weekend away there.
Yeah.
Recently.
So, like, why don't you give us a rundown of it initially?
Well, this isn't anything all too special. It's available in your average Polish supermarket. Like most Eastern European, Central European, Baltic countries, the Poles do love their honey products. And this is, well, information on it is limited due to the fact that it's all in Polish, and my Polish is limited, to say the least. However, it is basically a form of mead. But mead can mean different things. It can be sort of a honey wine or a honey beer. This is very much a honey beer. Quite a rough one as well, so be prepared for that.
Right.
But with a little getting used to, I quite liked it.
Well, I mean, I've got my tried and trusted Charlton Athletic bottle opener, so with a bit good luck, and I'll do it. Hang on.
Cheers.
Oh, shite.
You're fine.
So yeah, cheers.
Scott?
Oh yeah. Now, at first you can definitely tell the sort of like taint of a mead, but and then it hits the back of your throat, and you can tell, wow, this is fairly rough compared to other meads.
It is fairly rough, yes. It is 5.7% alcohol.
Yeah, so it's not light at all. It's
No.
not. It's definitely heavier than the Longman Brewery. What was it? Sleeping Giant that I reviewed earlier tonight.
Yes, indeed. As I say, it's an acquired taste. How would you characterise the overall texture of it? What would you say?
It's got kind of like a smooth start, but then it's got quite a rough finish.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's a bit rougher. And I have to say, it isn't quite as sweet or as distinctively honey flavoured as many different types of mead that I've had. And I'd have to go so far as to say that it may actually be my least... Oh, holy shit. Okay, we're fine, it landed on the screen, we're fine.
Well, that's just what you get with Gitbag's Brew Cellar.
It is, isn't it?
Technical faults. Is your laptop all right?
Yeah, we're totally fine, don't worry about it.
Jesus Christ, I had a poo in my pants moment there for a second. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. The sword is the soul of the samurai, and the laptop is the soul of the gamer. But fortunately, my soul is... okay, it's just gone black, but that's purely because the screen is... That's purely because it just went into sleep mode.
Don't just explain it first before giving me a fucking heart attack.
That. Yes, well, as we know, mead is becoming an increasingly popular drink. Over the past...
There's a couple of tissues, actually.
Cheers. Over the past 5 years or so, I read in an article in the Times recently, global mead production has increased by 300%.
But, yeah, I mean...
Mostly due to me.
Well, I think... That's probably a fair point, actually. But I think, like, in the last couple of decades, we've seen people getting more and more into, like, nostalgic sort of culture. So, like, nostalgic food or drink. And I feel like the more it's gotten... The more widespread it's gotten, the more niche sort of products we've seen kind of get ensnared in this wave of nostalgia. That we've seen over the last 15, 20 years. So I think it was kind of only a time, it was kind of only really a case of when, rather than if, mead got its day in the sunlight once again. Yes. The thing is, what I do like about it though, even though it is probably a bit rough and not as sweet as some people would hope, I think like it's probably a good sort of like middle ground between say like a lager and a cider, because some ciders can be a bit too sweet for some people, but some beers and ales are like a bit too sort of like bitter and run of the mill. So This is a really good middle ground between those two, and
definitely. I'd rather have this. Rather have Lomza Midowe than, shall we say, your average IPA.
I think, yeah, it's. I think out of my 3 usual categories, I think more than any of them, it's probably a decompression drink. But I could also imagine having it with a meal. I don't think it's one to get drunk on so much, but
no, indeed.
But it's definitely a good decompression drink. Probably a decent meal sort of drink.
Yes, you might be right. I actually had some of this with some nice pierogi in a Polish restaurant when I was there, and it complemented it quite well. As I say, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah, so it's not for everyone. I think I would say it's a buy, but only just. However, as per its numerical rating, I think I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Actually, I think.
Yeah, purely in terms of how it compares to other meads that I've had, it's not the worst. I would give it a 4 or 5 out of 10.
So below average.
A little below.
So it's not so good.
It's purely personal preference, really.
Right.
But as I say, it's an acquired taste, so the more I drink of it, the more and more I like it.
Well, the thing is with me, my personal preference says 6, but I feel like it's a 6.5 out objectively. So, objectively speaking, disregarding your personal opinion at least somewhat.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you give it then?
Yes, well, purely as an alcohol, not necessarily as a mead and not based on my opinion, I would say that this is definitely sort of in the ranks of a Cellar Artois kind of thing. It's I would go so far as to say that it's Lomza isn't one of Poland's biggest breweries, but it doesn't just do this, and they have some experience.
So, on an objective sort of sense, what would be your numerical rating out of 10?
I would have to go with a 5 or 6, as if we're taking that as the average. This is what a mead should be. It's not the worst I've had, but it's also not my favourite.
I think that sounds pretty fair. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Booze Cellar. Be sure to not only check out my usual social medias and YouTube channels in the video description below, but Phil also has a book review channel, so I'll put the link to that in the video description below. If that's of any interest to anyone, be sure to check it out. And as always, leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you want me to do any other sort of videos on here in the future. And until next time, know your limits, drink responsibly, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Right.
There we go, that worked.
Now on to a couple of rounds of World of Tanks.